Hello there and welcome to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. So it is June here on the Isle of Wight and I'm going to be showing you one of my favourite drinks recipes for this time of year using wild ingredients. Stay tuned. So this recipe I like to call a wild white wine sangria. But in truth, it isn't really a sangria. Now, the tradition of adding wild herbs and spices into wine goes back for thousands of years and used to be quite commonplace all the way across Europe and in many other parts of the world as well. And it is only in modern times that it sort of died out. The only things that I can think of that are sort of similar are mulled wine at Christmas, and sangria, which is obviously the Spanish drink, which has got lots of fruit and lovely stuff in it. But going back to Roman times, it was very much commonplace to add herbs into your wine. Now this was done for many different reasons, one of them being to improve bad wine. Another reason is for medicinal value, so medicinal herbs would have been steeped in wine in order to make them into like a sort of rudimentary tincture, if you will. So what we're going to do today is use some of the things that are good in our hedgerows right now in early June, and we're going to make a delicious ice cold white wine sangria. How does that sound? So the first thing that we're going to forage for is possibly the most recognised and foraged for plant in the UK right now, which is elderflower. Now this is an incredible way of imparting elderflower into a beautiful summer drink without having to give over time and space to the process of fermentation. So see this is a little bit of an elderflower wine hack, if you will. Remember, you always want to pick elderflower blooms when the sun is shining. Now this is because most of the volatile flavour compounds that we recognise as that beautiful elderflower flavour are held within the pollen. And this pollen is released when the flowers are fully open on sunny days. So for maximum flavour, always pick your elderflower on a sunshiny day. Now one of the most common ingredients in any sangria is fruit. Now fruit can do many things in a sangria depending on what you use. It can add sweetness, it can add acid, it can up the complexity, and it just makes it a more summery, refreshing drink. Now one of the most popular things to put in a white wine sangria is apples, especially like green skinned apples, nice sharp apples, but sadly they are not in season. Some of our feral apples around here are fantastic in this drink a little bit later on in the summer, but right now we just don't have them. So we need to find something that tastes like fruit but isn't necessarily fruit. And that brings us to our second ingredient, which is dock stems. Now you can use the stems of both curly dock and broadleaf dock, whichever is more substantial in your area, but just try and pick some nice substantial stems that are still a little bit tender. So being a rumex species, it is a cousin of sorrel. So it has the same oxalic acid in it, so it has that beautiful, complex green apple skin flavour, that sharpness, and it works incredibly well in this drink. So what you want to do is pick your stems, cut them up, maybe peel the outside layer off of them and bruise them a little bit. Now this will release some of that beautiful juice from inside them and impart it into the wine. So go ahead and add everything to a big jug. I'm adding some mallow flowers from the garden here just to make it look nice and pretty, and then pour over a bottle of good quality white wine. Now if you want to make this drink a little bit more naughty and up the alcohol strength, then you can add a little bit of cider apple brandy, lovely. If you want to make it lighter, add something fizzy like potentially Prosecco or elderflower champagne if you've got some of that put away. It really is a very, very versatile drink. It also works well with lots of aromatic herbs. You could add ground ivy into this, or any member of the Lamiaceae family. Loads of mint species work really, really well in a wine drink like this. Or you could add something woody like rosemary. Rosemary was very popular to add into white wine drinks in Roman times. So maybe you want to experiment with that. There is absolutely no limit. So mix it all together and leave it at room temperature to steep, and then I like to chill it down before serving. Beautiful on a really, really hot day. We've got a heat wave coming up this weekend, so this is going to be the perfect drink for it. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more foraging videos from this beautiful landscape. Remember, always be 100% confident in your identification before picking and consuming any wild plant. And if you want to know more about identifying wild edible plants, then check out the show notes below. There is a reading list and plenty of useful links that will set you in the right direction. Right, I'm going to go and enjoy a lovely cold glass of this in the garden. So until next week, take care.